Welcome back to the Hunt Overview. We've had a few tournaments and a couple weeks to get the feel for Hunt, and now we're starting to see an emerging meta, primarily in the form of team composition. But first, here's a couple strategies that are being used in tournaments. Pillar defense. Some power relays have pillars nearby that hunters are using to avoid the monster while defending the relay at the same time. This works well with any hunters that have deployables such as the arc mines. Any monster is going to have difficulty getting the hunters off the pillars, let alone isolating them enough to get it down. The strat works best with Goliath and Wraith. However, the Kraken may find this challenging, but he has more advantages when it comes to elevated hunters. As a monster, try to knock them down with rocks, Warp Blast, Vortex, and any other knockbacks you may have. If all else fails, get on their level and knock them off with a powerful melee attack. Once they're off the pillar, knock them into isolation, which will force the other hunters off their pillars so they can come help their teammate. Cornering the monster. Teams are learning how to better corral a monster into a corner that's difficult to escape. The team spreads out and pushes the monster in. The pressure comes from the trapper that's hanging back while the rest of the team begins an engagement. Once the monster commits to a direction, the trapper moves in to make the cutoff and trap the monster. So long as hunters are continuing to ping the monster and communicate its location, then the chances are pretty high of capturing that monster. The strat has the added bonus of beginning a fight before the dome, so there's more time to deal damage to the monster before it is even trapped. Patience is the key for the trapper. As a monster, work to bait out a dome, then turn tail the other direction. In some circumstances, the monster may want to pursue fighting the hunters instead, while the trapper cannot safely commit to assisting them, because you will get away. If you choose to do this as monster, make sure to keep track of the trapper. Check every second, and prepare to bolt if you're not prepared for a dome. Elite Wildlife Control. Hunters are learning the wildlife buffs, and they're removing them as is required. Wraith is a primary concern, as she is quite elusive even when it comes to well-coordinated domes. When in doubt of hunting a runner early on, no matter what monster it is, remove the buffs that benefit it most in the late game. I'll have a link to the maps listing buff location in the description below. On a small map, wildlife can even be removed, and the closer to the power relay that the wildlife is, the better it is for the final fight. Monsters are going straight for powerful buffs in the early game in preparation for fighting the hunters at stage 1, which is becoming a mandatory skill for monsters. Knocking a hunter down, or even wiping a portion of the team, gives a monster enough breathing room to get evolved to stage 2. Aggressive wildlife are being utilized by the monsters for ambushes and skirmishing with the hunters. Hunters should remove hostile wildlife in a dome before committing to fighting the monster. The longer that animal is left alone, the more likely it'll aggro a hunter, or the monster will push someone into it. Team compositions. The competitive teams are forming a meta composition, which is running with Kyra, Kavit, Maggie, and Markov. This team is mobile, aggressive, defensive, and most importantly, anti-sneak. It has several tactical options for varying situations. It is also viable for Hank to be substituted in for a heavily defensive team, or Parnell can be substituted in for a more aggressive team. Now, a quick look at each hunter. Kyra provides AoE healing that rewards good aim and the ability to predict team movement. Her speed burst is good for chasing and running from a monster. The napalm grenade's dot damage can provide a method of seeing a cloaked wraith, keeps up some damage on the monster as a bonus. Kavit has great damage output, with his hit scan rail cannon that can burst through walls. In a combination with his radioactive dust for tracking and acquiring target location, he can keep a monster on the run and away from eating. His damage amp can punish a monster for ignoring him, and or the assault. The offensive role of Kavit can really put the hurt on a monster at all stages. Maggie and Daisy can get the team zeroed in on the monster. It forces the monster to stay on the move where it's loud and easy to locate, and if it tries to hide, Daisy will point the team in the right direction to search. Harpoon traps can be clutch when placed in key locations, disrupting a monster's intended actions. With burst fire, her auto pistol can add some decent damage to the fight, whether that be on the monster, on banshee mines, or just the wildlife in general. Finally, Markov has enough range on his weapons that the monster cannot kite him all that well. He has the option of guaranteed damage with the lightning gun, and potentially high damage with the assault rifle when the monster refuses to fight close. His arc mines give a lot of area denial to the team. He can create a battlefield that benefits the hunters almost anywhere in seconds. I've linked a detailed description of this team composition in the description below. The team comp that is also working well in Pugs consists of Lazarus, Bucket, Anytrapper, and Hyde. This team provides heavy area denial and damage, but it comes with a high risk. The team needs to die strategically. Dying isn't a bad thing for anyone but Laz with this team, which is a little more forgiving on newer teams, allowing for more aggressive playstyles and mistakes to be made. So long as Laz is safe and the corpses can be defended with sentries and toxic nades, this is a good team. Laz provides weak points that Hyde and Bucket can take great advantage of. Hyde can provide a lot of pressure to a monster that gets too close to Laz, while he works his way through Bucket's sentry zone. I would suggest a trapper such as Abe that can keep the monster slowed around Bucket's sentries and tracked throughout the game. Griffin also works well with this team, harpooning the monster chasing Laz or safely firing on weak points from a distance. Both these two trappers help Hyde get closer to the monster without being kited so much. That's all for now. I expect the upcoming balance patch to change this current meta team, but in the meantime, enjoy it for its many options. If you think I missed something, or you're seeing different team comps, let me know in the comments below. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Until next time, happy hunting.